I just want, then at that point, I just wanted to make it to the Olympia, just to watch the show. I think Dexter won the Olympia that year, and I just had to just try to overcome that fear of maybe not being able to even walk again, but I did make it back to the stage for 2 more times, and that was the end of my career, but I wasn't nearly as close to where I wanted to be, and I rushed getting back on stage because when you have a lot of sponsors and stuff like that trying to push you to do more, it's a little bit different on that with the top guys in the world, and you know, those guys are, you know, just don't matter to them where you came from, they're trying to beat you no matter what. So Dexter wouldn't slow down for me at that time. He kept going to win, so I just had to wave Dexter goodbye and have him take on. Because I always told him he was going to be good, and it's always going to be yours one day. I didn't think it was going to come that fast, but it did, and that's how it went.
Let's see. Well, first of all, I think, you know, it's not the coolest thing in the world to really focus on all the time, day in and day out. But, you know, I focus really on a lot of maintenance, stretching, massages, the whole nine. They have cryo out there. I mean, I've done it all. And I continue to do it all. I need to do more as well, you know, but that's very important as far as keeping you healthy. You do whatever, you do it, you know, you treat your body like your prized possession. You take care of it and it'll take care of you. But I think we all go through nagging injuries. I have some right now. We all go through it, and we all have some major ones too. But I always think about what Dexter says too, is when you feel something hurting, and you know it's painful, stop. Don't push, don't continue, but give it time to rest. It will heal itself, and then you work around it, one arm or one leg or whatever, you know, and then the muscle memory will come back. But start with, and I'm just almost, I feel like I'm kind of a hippie in a way now, man. I'm almost fanatical about like stretching and you know, meditating still, and like good juju and good aura over my body, you know, alkaline water. I'm talking the whole nine, man, the whole nine. What you put in your body, right, is what you're gonna get out of it. So that's my thought process on it all, you know. Just treat it like, man, like gold, like diamonds, like gold, you know, precious, precious, precious. Coming up through the ranks, you know, as a youngster, you know, probably first 10 years, I was completely opposite what Breon saying. I was just, I mean, when I get ready for a show, if I'm getting ready for a show and I have to travel, I didn't bring any food with me. I just stopped at McDonald's and stuff like that, you know, because I had a crazy fast metabolism. So I can get ready for a show in 5 or 6 weeks. But as I got older, you know, I've never had any major injuries because, like Breon said, I said, if you tweak something, I make sure I take off from that particular body part until it heals 100%. Because once it has memory, it's gonna come right back in 2 months. You can't, but a lot of guys, they can't phantom not being able to train that body part, and they try and work through it anyway. They end up injured, and it stays injured for years and years. It just keep nagging them for years. So that's one of the reasons why I've lasted so long without any major injuries. And as I got older, of course, I'm doing the same thing Breon does. A lot of massages, cryo, stretching. I don't stretch as much as Breon does, but I need to. If I were to be home or have to stretch myself, it would never happen. So I go to a stretch place around the corner from Gold's and pay them to stretch me. So that's how important it is. So it's very important to stretch. I've even started eating organic. People used to be like, organic, this organic. I'm like, man, that junk ain't gonna do nothing. It's the same stuff, it just charges y'all more money. Absolutely not. I'm a firm believer that organic food is way better. Just the taste of it is way better. You know what I'm saying? So I'm doing all organic stuff now, well, as much as I can, if I can find organic. And as I got older, I've learned, you know, and I don't know why a lot of guys that aren't in the, you know, in my division or whatever, you know, they wonder why they keep tearing all these body parts, why they get older. Well, you gotta know how to make the proper adjustments. I train with strictly machines. You know, a lot of people think you can't get big off machines. Well, I've proven you can. You know, I'm bigger than I've ever been. I'm 260. I've never gotten this heavy, you know, doing compound movements. So don't believe you can't get big from machines. That's absolutely not true. Plus, it's way less, you know, it takes off of the pain and stuff. It takes off the poundage of your joints. You know what I'm saying? So don't be afraid to do machines, guys. Okay, so that's why I've lasted so long.
Yeah, no, I agree with these guys. It's all preventative too. When I first started getting into bodybuilding, it was more for other sports. It necessarily wasn't for the sport of bodybuilding. And so whether it was for rehabbing, you know, from doing MMA or boxing or whatever, and trying to specifically target a certain area that I need to improve on and to strengthen, I would go back to the weight room and I would utilize that. So I had a really good foundation coming into it, and listen to that little voice. You know, I see so many superstars come and go because of the injuries. It's crazy. You could just see it coming by the way they train and just their limited range of motion. You always have to, it's like a high performance race car. You can't just pull out of the garage and drive it real fast. You gotta pull it out, you gotta check everything. You drive it slow, see how it functions and performs. You get it a little tune up, and then you can start, you know, easing up into it, and then you could really hit it. And that's just how your body is. Your body is a machine. So, you know, when you wake up in the morning, you never know. It could have been the way you slept. You gotta assess yourself all the time. Driving in your car. You get out of your car, you were in traffic a long time, your back was a little bit tight. Now I'm gonna go do the same thing, squats or whatever I usually do, but now there's an added, just a little bit of a change in your body, the way everything's tight and stuff. So you gotta be very aware of what you're doing that day whenever you lift. You know, it's all about thinking about it before. And I always test it out with a little bit of weight. And I go a little bit more. Put my elbows or whatever in a different position to see, you know, where it works best, and I'll get the workout in. There's so many ways to do it. Just don't get pigeonholed into thinking I gotta go heavier and get caught up in that weight and the numbers going up, so I'm making gains. That's not what we're not power lifters. Nobody cares when you're on stage how much weight you're lifting. Maybe for your, you know, YouTube or Instagram or whatever, but they have fake plates for that if you're really into that. But not that I do, I'm saying, you know. But if you ever see me get really strong, then maybe that's a possibility. Maybe when I get Chris's age, I'll start using those fake plates.
Next year.
When I was up in Toronto for Muscle Tech in 2008, they had a whole section of photo shoot weights for Dexter. They said Dexter won't lift it. The dumbbell's heavier than 35 when he's in contest shape. They had a whole section. Those are Dexter Jackson's weights. Those are for Dexter.
I'm just curious about each of your favorite shows that you've ever won all time and why.
I kind of think, I kind of have like, it's always going to be the one when you turn pro. It's got to be very memorable. I was one of those guys, like Dexter said, is, you know, everyone doubted me on every level of bodybuilding I've ever done as a teenager, in the men's division, in the USA. It's on competition, right?
Competitions or TV shows? Competition or TV shows?
Competition.
I was gonna say power. That's just about to reel them off. Yeah, when I won the USA, it was a great show for me, and it was also like I say, it was just like even people that trained with me before the show, they didn't really think that I should have won the show or did win the show because Mike Francois was a heavy hitter and he was a lot bigger than me, but I was a lot more separated, a lot more of like an anatomy chart type bodybuilder. He had a lot more plain but big muscles, so that was a great win for me. And also, I think 05, Dexter snatched away one of my Arnold Classics that I had just right in my hand. And he knows damn well that he should have done that because I've been trying since 1994, and here we are, 2005. And it was like, man, I thought they were kidding. I was like, wait, are they joking? They kidding, right? They kidding. But yeah, and then I won the next show right after the next weekend. I won in San Francisco, and everyone from the Arnold Classic was in that show. So that was a good little redemption, but it wasn't the one I wanted. And but yeah, so you can blame Dexter for that. No, hey Dexter, man, I want to tell you guys, you know, they're talking about the money stuff, but Dexter is here with no charge for you guys to pose tonight. Because, no, I just want to say it, man. I didn't want to like say it, but this dude, man, and you know, we've been close for a long time. Dexter's a really good dude, man. I just want to tell you, this guy is doing this because he loves bodybuilding. He loves remembering what people have done for him, and that's why he's here.
Favorite shows. Guys, I've only been doing this for 7 years now, so I'm sure you guys know my favorite shows. You know, turning pro in 2013 at the USA's in Vegas, and that was like, wow. Because I used to be neighbors with Flex Wheeler in Rolling Heights, you know? So that's the kind of the first bodybuilder that I actually kind of, you know, I guess was marveling at, and was like, oh wow, this is what they really do look like in person, and I just really started to be fascinated by the physique then, and I was about what 10, 11, 12 years old, and just looking at the magazines and, like I said, being fascinated with the physiques and how you can develop them, and the muscle can look, have so much wow factor to it. I thought it was amazing. So but I put bodybuilding on the back, you know, the back of my mind. I wanted to, the only thing that I wanted to do was play, well, either become a professional track athlete or a professional football athlete, and you couldn't tell me that I wasn't going to make it. But injuries are a reality. I tore my knee up, and we did not make that. So I still had the competitive nature, competitive spirit inside, and I just said, okay, I do remember, because I've always been kind of strong for my stature, and I just put two and two together. I said, well, I guess you can build some good muscle being pretty strong. So I went into bodybuilding in about 2012, and the rest is history. So like I said, 2013, I won the USA's, was very fortunate enough as a middleweight, and that was amazing. Then I would probably definitely say also this last year's Olympia, because you know when you're on the top, you know, there's a lot of people that like and they have their favorites, you know, but a lot of people kind of want to see you get taken down, and that's fine. But and that's another thing for my man, you know, using it as motivation for me is what Dexter said, proving everybody wrong and proving everybody that I can stay where I am. You know, and that should be motivation enough. If that doesn't get you going, then you're probably in the wrong sport. You probably need to go focus and try to be great at something else. But yeah, those two. So I'm new to this game still. Not in age, guys, because I'll be 38 in November. Okay, but in the bodybuilding game still. So I have still a lot to learn from these guys and listening to stories and methods of training and methods of dieting and methods of nutrition and so forth and so on. But I'm just here for the fans, and I'm just here to, you know, enlighten and inspire and motivate and ignite and excite for real. I think that's my calling. So, favorite two shows, those are.
To piggyback to what Chris said about me coming here free of charge, he did the same thing for me my very first show. So it was only right for me to do it for him. You know what I'm saying? So give it up for Chris. And that one, and that's my very first Dexter Jackson Classic was in, in Jacksonville, still there. It's like the 14th or 15th year now. So that's when Chris was Cormier. He's Cormier now, but he was Cormier then. See, that's an inside joke, y'all. But that's when he was the man back then, and he came to my show on the house. And I even think he paid for his own ticket. At least you got my ticket, Chris. I appreciate it, dog. All right, so to get back to the question was my favorite show. Well, let's see. I've done 85 shows, 80-something shows, pro shows. So yeah, 80-something. So it's very hard to think of which one is my best because I've had so many. Because one point, of course, winning the Arnold was always my dream. It wasn't the Olympia. Because back then, the Olympia was a big man show, so I never thought a small guy could win the Olympia. So winning the Arnold was more a classic physique type, beautiful lines. So that was always my goal, to win the Arnold. So I ended up winning the Arnold, beating Chris there, like he said in 05. And I felt bad, because Chris was a little boy, and he's like big bro. And, I followed behind him everywhere we went, and he placed second in the Arnold like 5-6 times in a row, 6 second places in a row, and then I come and beat him. It was, I mean, it hurt me too, but the money kind of like the money and the Hummer and the money and the Hummer and the $25,000 watch we got, that kind of made me like, well, Chris, I'm sorry, bro. Oh, they don't do that these days. Those nice presents are gone these days. But yeah, man. So the Arnold, that first Arnold was very, very dear to me. And of course, winning the Olympia in 08, that was crazy. Breaking Flex Willis' record of 4 wins for the Arnold in Ohio, that was huge. And when I was getting ready to retire in 2010, because my body wasn't just acting weird, and to come back and win 16 shows after that was, it's pretty crazy too. So I've had some really amazing times and wins in my life. Very blessed to be able to win so many shows and compete in so many shows and meet so many good people, and you know what I'm saying? So I've just had a really blessed career, man, and meet some of you guys, all my fans out here that that ride with me and always keep me motivated, because most of the time I'm down. You guys are the one that bring me up, man. So I want to thank everybody for all the messages I get. If you guys, any of you guys that send me messages, I'm just saying. Thank you guys so much for that, man.
I'd say one of the shows that I really think about the most would be my first show that I did. It was Mr. Ventura County. That's kind of towards Santa Barbara in California, where I'm from. And I came from a wrestling background, wrestling college, and I got into the bodybuilding, like I say, to improve my sport that I was in. And at the time, Arnold, with pumping iron, and I was not having to cut weight that year for wrestling, and I was putting a little more size on. Actually, my wrestling coach got me into do it. The only thing was like, ooh, I gotta wear those trunks though, That was, it kind of kept me from doing it maybe a little bit sooner. But I got over that, and I won my very first show. I won the overall. I beat like men that were in their 30s and 40s, and I was like 18, 19 years old. And then I really appreciated like just the art of it. I'm like, wow, people were coming up to me, the accolades and everything, and it was something I really worked hard, because I came from a wrestling background. Boy, if I would have known back then, I probably would have been lazier. It's like the more I knew, the less I had to do. I was like, wow, this bodybuilding stuff's easy. I overtrained. I thought I was like doing stadiums and everything, like I'm getting ready for a wrestling tournament, not eating. I said, you just lift weights and do some cardio and you can eat as much as you want, just eat real clean. I was like, I could do this is easy. You know, so, but I won, the trophy was beautiful. And that's why, like, when I saw the trophies of Chris's show, the first, you know, his first show promoting, I was really proud of him, because these trophies, honestly, there's some promoters out there that make millions of dollars and they don't have half the quality of stuff that Chris is giving out. I was like, just one of those should be like an overall, but he's giving it to everybody. The swords, I was like, whoa, this is really nice. Because it really, the trophy I got was kind of like that. It was in a glass case, it had a little light on it, and you hit this button and it turned. That was nice, and it was my first show I ever did and I won. I was like, whoa, I want to collect some more of these, you know? My mom really liked it. At first she was like, what are you doing? You know, and she still never understood. My mom, after over 25 years of competing, you know, not that she didn't care, but she had so many kids, a single mother, had 6 kids, you know, as long as we didn't get in trouble, sports was cool. She couldn't make it to all of them, so she decided not to go to, really to any of them, you know, she didn't want anyone to be offended and stuff. And so the very first show she ever went to was when I did the Olympia, the first classic Olympia, and my wife was there, and they were both sitting in the front row when I won, and they were both crying. It was really cool. I could have retired right then. I mean, my journey was complete, you know, so, and that gold medal, I've always seen it, you know, in a lot of my friends' places and Arnold's, and, you know, but they always have it in glass, you know, on a wall. So I've never held it until I won one, and that's why I always take it with me everywhere. I don't want to put it in the wall, and I bring it backstage and I show the athletes and everything. And it's just the feeling that I get to see them inspired, to see that it's tangible, it's real. You know, and I have them put it on, and oh, I could put it on. It's like, yeah, of course you could put it on. This is something that is real that you can aspire to achieve. You know, it's not something that's a dream or whatever. This is something that you can do, and it's just take your time. That's my thing, is your journey's got to be for yourself, and you got to do it right. So many of these guys are rushing all the time. Honestly, I felt like my physique is still improving. You know, the judging panel and the criteria might change, but as long as I'm making progress and improving, that's what it's about. I think if I would have won the Olympia 10 years ago, that picture they would hang on the wall of me winning Olympia, definitely the physique is much better now. So that's why it's like you want to be in such a hurry to win, just to win, but your physique is not maybe necessarily at your best that it could be, and that's what you want as a representation of that win, you know? So it's like, I still think Breon, every year he keeps getting better, and it's like, man, it's just amazing. Whether he wins, someone beats him or not, if he keeps making those improvements, I'm a fan of the sport, you know, and that's what keeps me going, because I'm still making improvements. Dexter's still making improvements. And that's one thing that bothers me a little bit too. It's like, okay, he didn't place, he took second place, oh, he's getting old or whatever. It's like, come on, really? No. That consistency, you don't do as well as you normally do. Now it's like all these people talking, it's just, it's crazy, you know? And that's why you can't listen to other people. You know what you do, you know what you did wrong, you know what you can do, and you keep pushing because you love it, you build the camaraderie, you know, it's a family, and it's a personal journey, and people will see if you're making changes and stuff. I will never try to chase a trophy or a placing to jeopardize my health, ever. You know, and that's why if I'm not in the mindset to really push and drive, I'll be satisfied. I know what I'm gonna place. I know a lot of people say, I gotta win with at all costs, but to me it's like, if I'm not gonna beat you, I'm gonna outlast you, you know, and it's really about the longevity and things that you do outside too, because you could be a champion on stage and you could be a chump off the stage. To me, you are always, life is the biggest stage. You gotta keep that in mind.
All right, that's going to be it for the seminar, guys. The show is scheduled to start at 5. We're gonna take a few minutes to get the stage set up here, let our judges get in place. Do not forget, so not only do we have these gentlemen here for the seminar,